Oh, hello there. Welcome back to the swamp. You know, some days you get pretty bored, so it's important to keep yourself occupied. For instance, I've taken up wood carving. I decided to make this old thing here. I call it my face block. Anyways, for those of you who didn't know, part of our data set is actually a really large number of animal carvings, and well, there's all kinds of varieties. And well, since I'm not an expert, I'm gonna send you on to somebody who knows what they're talking about. Let me introduce you to my good colleague Mike Kneppers, who did his MA on the animal carvings in the Karakorum.
I'm Mike and I worked on the Zoomorphic, or animal rock art, from the Karakorum mountain assemblage. And I'll be telling you a bit more about the assemblage, or at least the zoomorphic part of it, in this vlog. The Karakorum mountain range has been considered a hub for biodiversity in Pakistan and contains several endangered species. A total of over 3,000 motifs were identified, which could be categorized or classified into 3 taxonomical classes, and those include the mammals, the birds, and the reptiles. Now, what is interesting is that more than 97% of the entire assemblage could be attributed to the mammal class. And of that mammal class, 2/3 and 2/3 of the entire zoomorphic rock art assemblage could be attributed to the bovidae, which include guts. It can sometimes be difficult to make distinctions between motifs based on just the motif itself, because sometimes it's rather ambiguous. And this is where the importance of scenes come into play. And scenes are basically correlated motifs that together form a story. So they give context to the motifs that are depicted. And there are multiple types of motifs that can be found in the Karakorum rock art assemblage. Sorry, we've got hunting scenes, we've got combat scenes, and we've got traveling scenes. And sometimes alongside these, you also have depictions of carnivores. And this is how I was able to distinguish between wild carnivores and hunting dogs, because of the context that the scene provides. So after finishing the initial identification phase, I went on to try to visualize the spatial data concerning the rock art, and as I kept doing that, it grew more and more apparent that there were significant differences between rock art located next to the riverside and on the land, and that's why I termed a new phrase called the riverside inland dichotomy. Alongside the river, you can see that basically there is a huge variety of different types of animals, whereas in the more inland sides you can see that the diversity really dwindles, so there's only a select subgroup of species that are depicted there. And lastly, we have the stylistic differences. So within the Karakorum rock art assemblage, you can see that there are very different styles. So on one hand you have the very basic, linear, barely distinguishable animal carvings, and on the other hand you have ones that are very detailed, very lifelike, very elaborate. So what's the reason behind this riverside inland dichotomy? Well, I think it has something to do with the geographical and topographical position. The merchants and travelers would have traveled alongside the Indus River because it features very traversable terrain and also a source of fresh water. Well, if you have time to rest and worship, then there's also time to you know, relax, to create some rock art, to have more time to create more elaborate pieces as well. And inland, it's different. The terrain is much more difficult to traverse, very rocky, very mountainous, and that also increases the danger, the risk. So that is why there would be less time and less carvings. Prior research has already focused on identifying archaeological key sites through the presence and absence of Buddhist motifs, both anthropomorphic and stupa depictions, of which you'll hear some more later on. And my research added onto that data set. So that means Morning. So my research added onto that data set, which corroborates these hypotheses and also additionally adds new archaeological key sites that could be very much of interest. Isn't that my boat?
Come on, I'm never gonna go bigger. Oh, hey folks. Well, looks like we learned quite a lot about animal carvings today, didn't we? Well, I know I sure learned a lot of things that I didn't know before. Looks like it's about that time to be...
Hey you!
Uh-oh. Anyways folks, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube and check out us on Instagram. I gotta go.
Where's my boat? Where's my boat?
Swap 19,
my boat!